Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Sophie. I have a doctorate in literature, which means I get way too emotionally invested in the shows that I'm watching. Today, we're reacting to episode 12 of Monster. Last episode, Tenma has actively involved himself in an abuse case. He is also tracking down information about the Lieberts, but also Johan and Anna. We learned that the orphanage that Johan grew up in was actually an experiment, but we don't know what experiments they were doing just yet. And it makes sense that Anna turned out completely differently because the environment that she grew up in was actually loving, caring, and nurturing. I'm scared that Dita has been taken away because Tama had to leave as the police were in the hospital. And the foster parent obviously is going to want to try and hide what he's been doing to Dita because he doesn't want anyone to know that he's been abusing the boy. But in his mind, he's just shaping him for how the world is, but he's actually just crushing all his hopes and dreams and his individuality. But hopefully Temma can get him into a better environment and we can see Dita actually be a child and have a healthy, happy environment, because when you look at the home that he's growing up in, there's literally no kid stuff anywhere. So poor Dita probably isn't allowed to even be a kid. And all he wants is a football, which means something so simple means so much to him. And if anything, he deserves to have a loving home. And I hope that he does get to have that. Without further ado, we're going to jump into episode 12.
子供たちを完全な兵士に変えるプロジェクトが進行していたの。精神改造、人間改造の研究。
No wonder Johan thinks of himself as a
コーチたち
monster.
に徒党を組ませ、その中で彼らがどう憎み合い、どう争い合うかの観察。
And then Johan led a revolt.
哀れみを全く感じない、冷徹な人間をいかに生み出すかの実験。そんな子供たちが成長して、どんな人間になるか想像がつく。
Yes, because Johan has grown up to be a serial killer.
壁崩壊直前にそれに関する資料は燃やされてし
Oh
まった
yeah,
らしい
to hide what they've been doing to his
プロ
children
ジェクトに関わった内務省関係者も逃亡したし、
so that they couldn't be punished for it.
たった一人だけうまく経歴をごまかしてこの国にとどまれた人間がいるって。そいつが511キンダーハイムの悪魔のプロジェクトを観察していた人物だって。彼の本当の身分は内務省警察に所属する小児専
Does he
門
now
の
go
精
by
神科学
Hartman?
医師。表向きは厚生省の地区担当官とか言いながらね。
厚生省の
Hartman,
いいんげ、トイレは済んだかい？
chief psychologist. And he's sat there pretending that he doesn't have any information, that he doesn't know what's going on, and he's so innocent. Oh,
例の事件511キンダーハイムで
Johan's revolt.
ちょっと喋りすぎたよね。
I do think the shaking of his hand was genuine. I think he is scared of Johan,
教えてください。
of what Johan could do.
僕のサッカーボールは？
ああ。でもサッカーは怪我が治るまでお預けよ。もうすぐあのおじさんが迎えに来るって言ってたから、それまで静かに寝てるのよ。
I'm so scared that the guy's gonna show up and kidnap him out the room.
最初は511キンダーハイムの院長の変死から始まった。その直後、教官たちの間で
Johan killed the
院長の
director,
頭
didn't
の
he?
勢力争いが起きたの。院内は無政府状態になったらしい。あそこからよくヨハンは出られたもんだよ。
それで511キンダーハイムはどうなったんですか？
みんな死んだのさ。
But
教官
Johan?
含めて孤児院のメンバー全員があそこで殺し合ったんだよ。
Like a battle royale, jeez.
ディータ、お迎えが来たわよ。
No, it's not who you think it is. No. And then his ball's gonna be all that's left behind. Peter, kick him in the balls and run.
ねえ、ハルトマンさん、うちに帰るんじゃないの？
いや、寄り道していこう。
A stop where?
やだよ。
ディータ、 ディーターはいい子だろ？
He's a good boy without needing to be abused. You sick fucking creep. Oh, Dita.
私が帰ってくるまでディータを渡さないでくれって言ったでしょ。
あの人、あの子の里親ですよ。それに、とても紳士的な人だったわ。あなたよりずっとね。
He's also abusing the boy, for fuck's sake.
自分から進んで彼についていった
Because
のよ
he's terrified. What do you expect him to do? He's petrified of the man. He's taken him someplace and Tenma doesn't even know where it is. He thinks they've gone home.
ディーター。ディーター。
He's not here.
ハルトマンの書斎か。
He's continuing on his experiments with these new boys. Is he going to find a picture of Johan?
時期はバラバラみたいだが、どれも同じ場所で撮ってる。どこだここは。
Johan. He had a direct hand in manipulating his mind.
写真はすべて511キンダーハイムで撮られたものだ。
孤児院のメンバー全員があそこで殺し合ったんだよ。
ディーター。もしかしたら。
In the building? Probably. So if they're all killing each other, then they're completely desensitized to violence. They are the perfect soldiers, but what for? What are they wanting them to be soldiers for? The military, or is there another purpose? I love that we're beginning to get to the point where we begin to empathize with Johan. Of course, we don't forgive him, and he's not absolved of the horrendous acts he's done, but can you blame him for the way that he's turned out after everything he's gone through? Not really. Oh, that's eerie. What the fuck?
ディーター待ってろ。今行く。
Is he dead? He looks really listless.
あの時、ヨハンがここから見ていたものが、この子には見えないんだよ。
No, he's blinked. He's okay.
ダメだ。またダメだった。
I don't think any of those
この子もヨハン
kids
じゃない。
were adopted, were they? They were all killed by him. He disposed of them.
みんな
Just as he's gonna dispose
みんな
of
死んでいた。
Dita because they're not Johan.
10年前の話だ。教官も孤児も50人全員が息絶えていた。ヨハンはそれを眺めていた。この場所から彼は眺めていた。ヨハンはただ眺めていた。
What did you do to him to make him that way?
ヨハンに尋ねたよ。一体何をしたんだと。彼はこう答えた。こうして油の染み込んだ布を焚き火にかざしてね。
Oh, he incited it 110%. He fanned the flames and then watched it all dissolve into violence and chaos.
人が集まると憎しみが生まれる。僕はそれにほんの少し油を注いだだけだよ。そして彼はやってのけたんだ。自分は指一本動かさずに50人もの人間を殺し合わせたんだ。
あなたたちの実験が彼をそんな人間にしてしまったんじゃないか。
I think he's gonna say he was always like that.
そんな。とんでもない。
But how much of that is
とん
actually
でもない
true?
よ。孤児たちを完璧な兵士に育て上げるプロジェクトのね。ところがヨハンはどうだ。彼が兵隊？彼は生まれながらの指導者だ。私たちがあんな芸術品を作れるわけがない。
I think you nurtured the worst in him, though.
怪物のような存在だったんだ。
No, you probably made him believe that he was a monster from the beginning.
彼はこう言ったんだ。この世の終わりにたった一人生き残ることだ。
That doesn't really align, though, with his pattern of killing. Because if that was true, he would be killing indiscriminately, but he's not.
お前も少しでもヨハンに近づかないと。どうしてダメなんだ。
He's gonna shoot him. He's gonna shoot
ヨ
him.
ハンのようになれないんだ。
やめろハルトマン。これ以上暴力を振れば撃つ。
出て行ってくれ。これは私たちの問題だ。
Are we gonna see Temma actually pull the trigger?
リーター、降りてくるんだ。
He's scared. He's just a boy.
ヨハンのことを知ってどうする。見つけ出して殺そうなんて無理な話だと思うよ。
Why would it be impossible for him?
まあいい。一つだけ情報をあげよう。
He's
その代わり
human.
それを聞いたら私たちのことはほっといて。
No, he's not gonna agree to that.
ウォルフ将軍を探せ。最初にヨハンの才能を見出したのは彼だ。
あなたの書斎にあったあの写真の男か。ヨハンと一緒に写っていたあの男か。
ヨハンを連れてきたのも彼だし、あの人なら
So
何か
this
知ってる。
began before he was brought to the orphanage, but then also made 10 times worse.
ハルトマンがライフルの引き金に指をかけたら私が撃つ。ディーター、
He said, please,
自分で決めろ。君自身で決めるんだ。
either accept that the world is horrible or continue to aspire for
私と
something
別れるなん
else.
てできるわけないよな、ディータ
Oh, he's so
だってお前は
traumatized.
ー。私の子供だもの。
No, he's not.
そういうわけだ、ドクター・テンマ。さあ、消えてくれ。ん？
This poor kid. Oh, I'm so happy. It takes so much strength and courage to walk away from this man after everything he's done to him.
ディータ。
You're not a
So
parent.
大丈夫。そのままゆっくりゆっくり。
ディータ、戻っておいで。
Don't shoot him. Oh god, I'm so scared. Dita.
私から離れて生きていけると思っているのか、ディータ。
やめろハルトマン。動けば撃つ。
愛しているんだ。
No, you don't. If you loved him, you wouldn't treat him the way that you are.
天馬のおじさんが言ってた。明日はいい日だって。
ディータ。
He trusts in kindness,
勇気を持て。怖くない。
that there's light to be found in this world, not just darkness and pain.
ディータ。
Oh, Dita, I'm so happy that you stood up to him. I was worried that his trauma was going to get the better of him, but he showed his moral character. Thank God. I was very worried that he was going to get shot going down the stairs.
いいかい。ここからバスに乗って9年通りで降りるんだ。すぐ目の前の孤児院だ。見た目はおっかないけど、根はすっごく優しいおばさんだ。
Appearances can be deceptive.
あと2、3分でバスが来る。それ
Can
じゃあ
you not at least wait with him until the bus
Sakka, umaku
arrives
naru
so
nda.
that you can make sure he gets on the bus?
ダメだ。私についてきちゃ。それ。ダメだって言ってるだろ。私についてきちゃ。
Is he gonna end up with an adopted child?
私についてきちゃ。
Is he gonna end up with Dita? Because I don't think at this point he can leave Dita behind. I think Dita's gonna follow him wherever he goes. Because Dita showed him that the world isn't all dark and cruel. And this is also sort of an opportunity that he can help nurture an abused child into a kind, loving individual. But I don't think Dita's gonna get on that bus. I think Dita is fully determined that he's gonna go with Temba, that he trusts in Temba that Temma can offer him something that no one else has been able to offer him before, which is hope and a chance for something else. Temma obviously doesn't want to bring him along because it's dangerous and he's on the run. So Dieter's always going to be on the run too. He's not going to have a normal life, but after everything he's gone through, how can you really say no? It's so sad. So who is this wolf, General Wolf, who brought Johann to the orphanage, recognized Johann's talents? So he obviously met, oh my goodness, did he pick them up when they were crossing the border? Because the border would have been monitored by soldiers. He's general. So he obviously would have taken in the twins and then recognized something in Johann, sent Anna to this other orphanage, and then maybe kept Johann for a bit and then sent Johann to this other orphanage that were making the perfect soldiers, that he saw that Johann could become the perfect soldier. But his mind has obviously been molded by more than one person. And to sit and say that, you know, he was always like this, our psychological experiments didn't do anything, is absolute bullshit. I think it's had more of an impact than they'll ever realize. They're sat going, oh, you know, he was always predispositioned to be a leader, to be a monster, to have no feelings, to be callous, but no child is born that way. Again, I think it always is going to set it up to be it's nature and then it's nurture, then it's nature. Like it wants us to yo-yo back and forth between the two concepts. You know, the more information we get, the more our minds will change. So, you know, last episode we're like, it's definitely nurture. This episode you're like, oh, maybe it's nature. I still think it's nurture. I'm never going to be on the side of nature. I don't think anyone is born inherently evil. I don't think anyone is born the way they are. I think they are shaped and created by the world in which they inhabit, and whatever Johann has gone through in commuting to the border, in meeting this General Wolf, in being in this orphanage, has all made him to be the man that he is. But this whole, oh, his dream is to be the last man on the earth alive, doesn't quite line up with Johann's patterns. Johann has a pattern in that all his victims are of the same general age and they're all couples. So why is he only targeting those that would be parental figures? He's killed every parental figure that's taken him in. He's also now targeting middle-aged couples that resemble parental figures that would have taken him in. So there is a deep-seated trauma in the back of his mind that he is playing out. It's not as simplistic as his dream is to be the last man on the earth alive, because if that was the case, it would mean killing Anna. He would never kill Anna. He loves his sister dearly. He loves his sister more than he probably loves himself. He isn't just killing anyone and everyone that's in his way. He has very specific targets for a reason. But again, we don't really know anything about his biological parents, about his upbringing, about their journey to the border when it was just him and Anna. So it's all kind of guesswork up until then. I love that Dieter, despite the trauma, despite everything this man has tried to do to him, tried to brainwash and mold him into being Johann, he was able to find the courage to stand up to him, to not accept that the world is this dark, cruel, and horrible place. He asserted that he has faith and belief in the world being something beautiful, that he can aspire for his true dream. And the fact that his dream was so simple as wanting a football just goes to show like what a good, kind-hearted young boy he truly is. And I hope he gets everything he wants and more. He truly deserves to be happy. And I think if Temma does take him in, again, it's kind of this way of atoning. Not that Temma has anything to atone for, but I think it's his way of showing that perhaps if Johann had been raised differently, if Johann had been shown love and kindness, that Johann could have been different. So Dieter has also gone through something similar in that he's being abused and manipulated and crafted into being like Johann, like the other boys before him, who I'm starting to think were never adopted. I'm starting to think they were disposed of when they no longer could meet this criteria of being like Johann because they were failed experiments and disappointments. Again, we don't actually know if they were adopted or not, but I don't know, I'm getting like a sus feeling that they probably weren't. Almost in a sense, it's like he's saving another child from going down the same path as Johann, that if he can intervene and prevent this from happening to anyone else, then he can and will do so. That's why I think potentially Dieter might actually go with him, because again, it's kind of similar to what Johann went through, and it's Temma's way of maybe proving to himself that these children do have a chance if raised in a nurturing, caring environment, one that they've never had prior to this. Johann never had that. Or at least by the time Johann did have that, Johann was already shaped into the person he was going to be. He was already beaten into that individual. So yeah, Johann led a revolt, but the revolt led to the deaths of everyone in the institution, bar him, but also bar Hartmann, who was the psychologist there. You know, I think by the time the Lieberts took Johann, it was too late for him. Johann was also killing people on the road as well. So he was killing people before he met the soldier. But we don't know why that is. We don't know if he was killing them for the sake of killing them, or if they were abusive, or they were planning to traffic them, or what. We don't know the actual reasoning behind it. We do know that he was killing people before he met the general and before he went to the orphanage. And it was always, again, parental type figures. But we really need the context behind that, because again, it could be for reasons of self-protection or protection of Anna. We don't actually know, which is why I'm saying we need more information. But the fact that he was already killing people before meeting the general will maybe have seen that lack of maybe empathy for humans and thought, oh, this would be a good soldier because there's no compassion there. He's not going to just balk at violence. So then sent him to this orphanage to have him trained up where he was only further hardened. But something has to have happened to make Johann this way. I honestly don't buy that he was born to be a monster, that he was born to be evil. Again, the show has us yo-yoing, but I'm going to be on this hill just based on my own research, maybe because I'm biased in that sense. But I feel like the show is too practical, too entrenched in like scientific knowledge for them to go the nature route, that they will emphasize nurture, but I think it likes to play with us. It wants us to keep guessing. It's why it keeps throwing like red herrings at us. Like, is it nature? Is it nurture? But I know, based on my own research into childhood socialization, children do not become this way without something significantly horrible and sustained having happened to them from a young age. They are made this way. So we know that the general and the orphanage have had a profound impact on him. But something has happened when they are crossing the border, but also prior to that. So we need to know what's happened when crossing the border, but also what happened with their biological parents, or maybe whoever took them in if their biological parents didn't want them, in order to really understand why Johann is this way. I'm excited to watch the next episode and see if Dieter went with Temma, if they're going to be like this little found family. But until then, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this throughout, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. Until next episode, bye!